Jamf Pro allows distributing App Store apps to users and mobile devices. We can install apps automatically or make them available in self-service for users to install at their convenience. After an app has been distributed, Jamf Pro can be used to update managed apps, limit their functionality, or remove them from devices. Managed app distribution allows us to provide app licenses to our users, even if we limit their access to the App Store on their devices. My name is Nate. Welcome to Device App Deployment. From the Jamf Pro dashboard, navigate to the Devices tab in the top left. Next, select Mobile Device Apps from the sidebar and New in the top right to create a new app. First, we will need to select the app type. App Store apps are vetted and approved by Apple, and selecting this option will allow us to deploy any app you'd find in the App Store. We can also deploy in-house apps. Typically, these are apps developed for organization-specific use. Leave the App Store app or apps purchased in volume radio button selected and click Next. Let's search for the app Jamf 1 and, if you're outside the United States, use the App Store country menu to find your location. Jamf 1 lets you connect with the Jamf Nation community, access Jamf support, and even submit feature requests. Click the Next button in the bottom right. Here, we have 4 tabs along the top to sort by platform: iPad, iPhone and iPod Touch, Apple TV, and apps purchased in volume from Apple School Manager or Apple Business Manager. 3 columns provide a little information about this app: its name, price, and who developed it. Selecting View iTunes Preview Page will redirect us to Apple's website, where we can read reviews, see the version history, and take a look at requirements for installation. Under Information, we can see it requires iOS 10 or later and is compatible with iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch, which means we could deploy this to any of those device types. Let's close this tab and select Add to the right of the app in Jamf Pro. Quite a bit of information about this app is pulled from the App Store, like the display name, version, and bundle identifier. Of course, we still have the option to modify these values, but I'm going to leave them default for now. Let's add this to a category. I'm going to put this in Utilities, and if you're not familiar with categories, see our video titled Introduction to Jamf Pro. Next, we need to pick a distribution method. We can make this available through the self-service app or install automatically / prompt users to install. Installing apps automatically has a few more requirements than making the app available in self-service, and we can review those by opening a new tab in your browser, navigating to docs.jamf.com/jamf-pro, selecting Managing Mobile Devices to the left, then App Distribution, and Understanding App Distribution Methods. This section of the Administrator's Guide outlines all the requirements for deploying apps, so it's a good idea to become familiar with it. Let's head back to Jamf Pro, leave the distribution method as Make Available in Self-Service, and we have a few additional options. Display app in self-service after it is installed will allow users to reinstall the app should they need to. We can schedule Jamf Pro to automatically check for updates at a specified time, automatically force updates if the app is free or deployed using licenses from one of Apple's deployment programs, and make the app managed. As admins, we have more control over managed apps, like removing the app if a user removes the MDM profile from their device, or preventing backup of sensitive app data. Once these options are configured, select the Scope tab to deploy this to devices. If you aren't familiar with Scope, I'd suggest checking out our video, Device Scope. Select Add to the right, and let's make this available to all of our iPhones by selecting the Mobile Device Groups tab and Add to the right of all managed iPhones. Next, select the Self-Service tab. The description and icon are taken from the App Store, but if you'd like to provide specific instructions for users, this field can be edited. To deploy this app, click Save in the bottom right, then Done to return to the Mobile Device App screen. Now, opening Self-Service on my iPhone, we see the Jamf 1 app. Tapping Install will notify us the app is about to be installed and managed by the server. Because the app is free, we won't be charged, and because we're signed in with an Apple ID, the app will download and install. Let's try one more app, this time using Manage Distribution. Return to Jamf Pro, select New to deploy a new app, or you can use the keyboard shortcut Control-N, and let's search for Pages. Pages is a cross-platform text editor developed by Apple, supported by both computers and mobile devices. If we click Apps Purchased in Volume to the right, we can see there are 100 available licenses and 0 currently in use. These licenses can be acquired through Apple School Manager or Apple Business Manager. Select Add to the right. Let's add this to the Apps category, and let's use the distribution method to change this from Make Available in Self-Service to Install Automatically / prompt users to install. In this case, I don't necessarily want users going to self-service. I just want the app to install silently in the background. Let's also make sure it stays up to date by selecting Automatically Force App Updates. Next, select the Scope tab, and I'm going to send this to a test device just to make sure everything's in order. Select Add to the right. Under Mobile Devices, find our device, and click Add. Next, select the Manage Distribution tab, and we're going to assign a license to our device simply by selecting Assign Content Purchased in Volume. This is called Device-Based Volume Assignment. Check out Understanding App Distribution Methods in the Jamf Pro Administrator's Guide for more info on the differences between device-based and user-based assignments. Let's save this app, and back on my iPhone, the app will begin installing automatically. If this device wasn't supervised, we would be prompted to install the app instead. There are many ways to distribute apps to mobile devices. Experiment and discover workflows that align with your organization's needs. If you have access to Apple School Manager or Apple Business Manager, both free enterprise services from Apple, you can purchase apps in volume and distribute licenses to devices, streamlining purchasing and the user experience. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.